Hey, thanks for checking out this video. This is my third video, or second video actually. It's my second video in a series where I'm trying to build the pet clinic sample that is pretty popular for illustrating some spring concepts and so on. In the last one, I was using IntelliJ and I used Junie as an AI assistant to help me get through these things. And after showing that to a couple of people, I was told that Claude might actually have been a better AI to use. So in this attempt, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and add a workflow and all of the things that the workflow needs in order to work. And this time I'm going to just use Claude Code, and we'll see how well that works. I'm going to try and complete the entire workflow using this single prompt that I have here, and hopefully I'll get what I'm looking for. So, what I want to do is add a workflow for managing visits, and each visit requires a reference to a customer ID, pet ID, and vet ID. And the states or the steps for a visit, they start with when a visit is reserved, when you call to make an appointment. It continues forward when you and your pet attend the appointment. And then it will also continue forward if there's a follow up required. And I added the follow up because I wanted to see, the workflow timers in action. So I'm asking for all of that. And in addition, I'm asking it to create a view called visits. And the view should allow queries that are available through RESTful routes. And I'm debating whether or not I need to add a little bit more detail here. My knee-jerk reaction is always to add more detail. So I'm trying to figure out if I need to explicitly tell the prompt that I want it to expose the workflow functions as well. So maybe I'll do that. All right, so let's try that. Um, I'm going to let's start up Claude here. Okay, so Claude is set up here, and I've got a pro subscription because apparently that's the only way, or that's the minimum that you can use in order to get access to Claude Code. When I was doing my first video with Junie, it was using GPT-5 as a default. And so this is using Claude Code, which is actually different than the stock Claude chat that you get when you go to Claude.ai. So let's see what happens if I try and paste this prompt here. There it is. So I've pasted the prompt in there, and we'll see what we get. It's attempting to think about it. It's showing me the tokens that I've been using. There's some error message about Claude, but I think that'll go away. So it's decided to create a domain, or the next thing it's going to do is create a domain layer, and uh, we'll see what we get out of that. Note that I didn't ask it for a domain layer specifically. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so it has done some thinking and proposed a design. And in the design, we've got a visit workflow. the visits view and a visit endpoint. Those are all things that I definitely would have created if I was doing this by hand. The visit state is the state for the workflow, and that has a visit ID, customer ID, pet ID, and vet ID. It's got the timestamps, and it has a status where the status of the visit can be requested, confirmed, attended, canceled, waiting for a follow up, and completed. And surprisingly, that is exactly the enum values that I would have used. Times for the follow up commands that go into the workflow. We have request visit, confirm time, mark attended, which you would imagine that the staff at the pet clinic using the pet clinic UI, they would use that. Schedule follow up, same thing. Workflow steps. We have the time requested step, time confirmed step, attended step, waiting for follow up, completed, and canceled. Off the top of my head, I think those are the exact steps I would have started with. There's the view row, visit entry, get by customer, get by vet, get by pet, endpoint routes. There are, oh yeah, see, I got the workflow functions here in the routes, but I'm not sure I needed to be explicit about that. So I have request a visit, confirm, attend, cancel, and mark complete. And there's also a route for scheduling the follow-up. And my 3 queries. Yes, this design looks pretty fantastic. Let's proceed. Yeah, one thing that I think is worth mentioning here is that while I'm already getting better results from Claude Code because I didn't get this kind of nice design preview with GPT-5. Claude Code is considerably more expensive. GPT-5 you can use a certain amount of for free, but Claude Code, the minimum that you can do is Pro, which at least for me in this country is like $17 a month, and you pay annually, or you can pay annually to get a discount. All right, so let's see what it created for visit state, or what it wants to create for visit state. Used a record, and if you remember from the first video, I had trouble with the AI doing old school static classes rather than records. So this all looks good. Customer ID, pet ID, vet ID can't be empty. They can't be null. Confirm, mark attended, cancel, complete, schedule a follow-up, mark follow-up as a no-show. Yeah, not only is this pretty much the set of functions that I would have created, it's also doing it using the style guidelines that I would be following as well. So this definitely looks good. And it's going to create the visit status. This looks good. Oh, this is also good and interesting. It's after it created the domain layer, it's going to take a step to try and use Maven to compile the project. And again, yeah, that's actually something I would have done as well, which is, as soon as I add something that I think is going to compile, I'll go through and try and compile it to see if I made any foolish mistakes. And it's giving me an overview of what it created, which is nice. So I am ready for visit workflow. Burning through a couple more tokens here. You can see it's reading the workflow guide from the Akka context directory, which is what I would expect it to do. When I was using Junie and GPT-5, I couldn't really tell whether it was using the local context or whether it was making web searches. So I like the fact that this is telling me where it got its context from. All right, so looks like it's got the whole workflow here. So let's go through this. Yeah, I guess this is the other side of the coin here. When using AI to create larger amounts of things, the responsibility shifts from being the person that sort of micromanages and comes up with each individual tiny design decision, like what to call the class and so on, which is what I started with in the first video. Now my job is more just looking at what Claude Code is coming up with and making sure that it looks accurate. And again, I need to know what this is supposed to look like in order to validate the work that Claude Code is doing. So I'm not ready to admit that what I'm doing is vibe coding, at least not yet. So we have request, confirm, and confirm visit, and schedule a follow up. These are all the commands that will go into the workflow. There's the component client injection, empty state, the settings for the workflow. Looks like the default timeout is being set to 10 seconds with 3 max retries, and it even created an error step for failovers. You can't start the same visit twice, which is good. You can't confirm a time if the visit wasn't there to begin with. And you can't confirm the time if the visit status is not in the requested state, which is good, and it's better than I would have done on my first try. I usually don't end up with these edge cases or these state transition cases until after I start writing the unit tests. It's just going to call the confirm method on the current state, update its internal state, and then reply. The marking it attended looks accurate. Canceling looks accurate. Although the canceling here says it's transitioning to the canceled step. I wonder if that's going to actually call end on the workflow. Yeah, that's pretty cool that we got then end and end on canceled and completed. I might need to refactor some of that eventually, but it looks good enough to keep going. Oh, excellent. It has realized that component ID is now a deprecated annotation, and instead we use component annotation with an ID attribute. So kind of shocked it picked up on that. Okay, looks like it's just removing an import. It's going to do compile. I've always seemed to be getting this warning about calling something unsafe in there, and yeah, I'm sure I can go fix it, but my code compiles even though it's there, so it's kind of low on my priority list to fix. It's looking for existing workflow samples. It's not going to find any. Yeah, nope. My session tokens, I'm getting close to about 6,000, which is it's about what I would expect. Making some more changes to visit workflow. Looks like it's looking for error and success inside some files. Oh, it's looking for the build success or build error in the Maven info. All right, created the visit workflow. Includes the timer logic for follow-up checks, which is cool. Command handlers, request visit, confirm time, mark attended, cancel, complete visit, schedule follow-up, and get visit. All right, that all looks good. Also kind of surprised that it's asking me for unit tests because in my prompt, I never asked it for the unit tests. My inner writer loves that that uh, Claude Code keeps using different words for thinking. So it had scurrying a few seconds ago, which is funny. I'm also pleased with the order that it's doing this. So it decided to do unit tests for the workflow, and it's creating those before it moves on to creating the visits view. Okay, so let's see what we got here. A bunch of tests. I'll just take a look at one for an example here. Visit customer pet vet. 2 different times. It looks like it's going to do a request, uh, and it's going to confirm 1 day after the request. Assert that state after confirm is equal to confirmed. Yeah, these all look pretty thorough. It's another warning that I have is that it's critical for you to review the unit tests that are created by an AI assistant because I've seen them create tests that pass, but the assertions that they're making are worthless. So always go in there and make sure that the tests are the kind of tests that you would be writing and that they're asserting the right things. So we're going to run Maven test now. My expectation is that some part of the test will fail and it will go into a debug loop. Oh, in that previous one, yeah, the empty state, it was trying to pull the workflow ID, and in empty state, I don't think you can access that field yet. It's going through another round of creating and executing the unit tests. Hmm. Claude is asking me for a review. You're doing good, Claude. Keep going. Huh. Created the tests. I'm assuming all those tests pass. So let's go to visits view. Hullabalooing. It's another good one. So I'm already convinced, even without having run the code yet, that Claude Code is producing vastly superior uh, results than I was getting with GPT-5, either through Juni or not. And I was foolishly thinking, you've seen one model, you've seen them all, and there when I'm doing normal queries in chat, I'll see different results, but they aren't really meaningfully or semantically different. I'm getting the answers that I expect, but here, the difference between GPT-5 and Claude Code it's staggering. It's yeah, I never want to use GPT-5 again for coding. Visits view. Here's my visit entry. So this is one row in the visit, and it's giving me a string for the status of the visit, which that's exactly what I would have done. Yeah, create the visits view. Now we're going to do Maven compile. See if the view compiles. Okay, the view compiled. So now we're going to do integration tests. I am skeptical that it's going to get the integration tests right on the first try, because there are all kinds of issues that you've got with concurrency and timing and stuff that the Akka has a test kit for this to help you write those, but I'm skeptical that it's going to get it right on the first try. We'll see. It's using test kit get workflow incoming messages, so it's using test kit to uh, pump messages into the workflow, and in this case, it's going to publish a visit ID into the workflow. It's going to publish this state to a workflow, and that's the general pattern for testing most of these. And since the view is being notified when a workflow updates, the test here is making workflow changes to ensure that the view shows up, which is exactly what I would do. Hmm. Seems to have gone through a loop, undoing and redoing the same thing. This issue with imports isn't really surprising either. Every single model that I've used to do coding, at least as an interactive agent, they all seem to have trouble getting the imports right on the first try. Okay, that's insane. The integration test is done, and it says all tests are passing. I'll be the judge of that later, but this is more than I expected. Needing, that's another good one. All right, let's see what the endpoint looks like for the visits in the pet clinic. So we have creating or requesting a new visit, confirming the visit, attending, canceling, completing, scheduling follow-ups, and so on. These are all good. At some point in the near future, what I'm going to want to do is make sure that there's a JWT being used so that uh, only the right people can make changes to the right visits and appointments. View queries, this all looks good. Visits response looks like it's something that's in the API folder. Okay. Yes, I want this. Yes, please compile. Scary that that seems to all have worked just fine. Here, all of the here's all the routes on my endpoint. Let's write some endpoint integration tests. Bloviating. There we go. That is one of my favorite words. I wonder if that shiny, funny word there is put there to distract me from how many tokens I'm using. Okay, integration tests. I'm going to trust it for now, and then I'll go back and watch these individually. Yeah, theoretically, if it's made any errors around asynchronous and concurrent stuff, those should be caught as test failures. Thinking turned red there for a second. Wonder what that was for. Yes, please update my README. Wonder if this thing's going to make my breakfast as well. It has examples of all the curl commands to run in order to test this out. Looks like it's running the service inside one of these tests. I still find it funny that it's using grep on the Maven output to find some of the important things that it needs. There's the full README. Wow. Everything seems like it was completed, so here goes nothing. Huh. Okay, we have vet endpoint, customer endpoint, and the visit endpoint, which is the new one. All right, so let's turn on the local console. Okay, it has detected that service is running. Oh, let's see what I did for my usage here. Looks like I used 1/3 of my session quota here. So I could theoretically make 2 or 3 more of these vertical slices of functionality before I would have to wait for my 4-hour timer between sessions. So that's pretty funny. Okay, so let's see what we have here in my components. Let's just go straight to the visit endpoint. Let's see what happens if I try and create a new visit. Let's see, what do we got here? Visits. Let's request a visit. Visit ID is 1. I'm sure I'm gonna mess up this time. But I wonder what it's using for parsing it. We'll see what happens here. Error parsing request, can't deserialize. Time instant. Okay, failed to deserialize. All right. I think instant is, yeah, ISO 8601. So now in ISO 8601. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to the endpoint. We'll do the whole request thing again. Visit. Okay, so my time, let's just say I want to schedule my visit for 6 hours from now. Okay, so let's see what oh wow. The view was updated in real time. So we saw that pop up on the screen here. Let's see what my result was. Okay, so I got my visit record here. I sent this to the request visit via the request visit command. The workflow, let's see here. That did 0.02 milliseconds worth. Updated the visit view and updated the visit view. So let's go and we'll take a look at some of these entities here. Visit workflow. Nice. Here's the state for this one. It is paused, which it should be. Here's the internal state. So let's go back to my visit endpoint. Well, let's confirm a visit. I'm going to confirm visit 1. I'm going to confirm it at that. So there's my confirmed results. There's the endpoint. And I got 2 view updates. And this one I got for the time confirmed event. Or actually, this is the time confirmed workflow state. So that's good. Let's go back here and let's just query visits by customer. Customer ID is Kevin. What did I get here? Visits, and there we go. This is okay. This is kind of shocking. I did not expect this to work the way I expected it to work. I expected it to build, compile, and run, for some definition of working, but I really expected the AI and myself to have, differing opinions on what the definition of working is. But somehow Claude Code was able to do its inference far better than GPT-5 was able to. And I ran a prompt through Claude Sonnet, just the regular Claude chat, and it was utterly worthless. The information it came back with was not anything I could use. So let's look at the visit workflow now. The status is confirmed. So I want to try and go through the whole flow here. So visit endpoint. Let's schedule a follow-up. Visit ID. And let's set the follow-up for 4 days from now. Hmm. Let's see what I got here. Ah, okay. I must have typed that wrong. Schedule a follow-up. Visit ID is 1. Oh, yeah, foolish American. I changed the month rather than the day. All right, let's just try 3 days from now. Yep, that worked. So here's my follow-up time. Can't schedule follow-up for a visit in status. Confirmed. Ah, again, I got caught by my own foolishness. I need to attend the appointment before I schedule a follow-up. So let's attend this visit. Visit 1. Okay. So there we have status code 200, visit attended, and there we go. So now I should be able to schedule a follow-up. Visit 1. Go, and now we'll change the day, not the month. There's my two, my view updates, my endpoint. Let's take a look at the answer here. Okay, so let's take a look at visit workflow. It's paused. The step that it's in is waiting for follow-up, which is exactly what I would have expected it to be. The status on the internal state is waiting for a follow-up. And now I should be able to, let's go back to the visit endpoint. There's schedule follow-up. And let's just complete the visit here. Oh, you know what? I did something wrong here. It's waiting for the follow-up still. So complete isn't actually what I needed. What I needed was, let's go to the visit endpoint. Anyway, you get the idea. Yeah, these are. I'm completely shocked by how well this worked. One thing that I noticed that it didn't do is it didn't verify that the pet, the vet, and the customer all exist as valid entities prior to scheduling the visit. And, that's an easy 3 lines of code that I can add in 5 minutes. So, yeah, I am super pleased with how Claude Code did. And so far, it seems to be within my budget. I don't know if how I will feel if I have to do 3 or 4 more of these uh, sessions all on the same day. But yeah, my if I had a hat, I would be eating it right now. Claude Code definitely did what I wanted it to and didn't expect it to be able to do. So next time I create a video here, I think my next video is going to be to add some AI agentic behavior to the application.